What's up? Good morning. It's Matt, and I want to talk about a conference I just came back from called Conversations 2019. It was powered by ManyChat. It's the number one messenger marketing chat product in the world. It's the biggest Facebook messenger marketing conference around, and I want to talk about what I learned from about 60 plus sessions I had after my speaking engagement. So let me tell you what I did, because it was unique, and it was different, and it was something that I'm 99% sure nobody else there did. I'm actually almost 100%. Maybe somebody did a little of it. So as I'm sitting there Thursday night, I spoke Friday. The event was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I spoke Friday. And as I'm sitting there Thursday night, I'm thinking about being on stage, the same stage as the likes of Randy Zuckerberg, which is Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook's sister. And amazing woman, by the way, amazing speech, mother, wife, entrepreneur, I think number 10 employee ever at Facebook. And so you can imagine what she learned. And she showed pictures from when it was back then. Neil Patel, who is a beast, New York Times best-selling author, one of the biggest brain trusts in the world on digital marketing. And then Ezra Firestone, a guy that is how I found Messenger and ManyChat at Traffic and Conversions 2017. So I'm sitting there thinking, what can little Matt Plapp have as an impact on the people in the crowd that they're not going to get a million times from these people? Well, it got me thinking, who's going to be in the audience? Who will relate with me? And what can I give them? And I thought, you know what? The number thing I can give them is time, is advice, is one-to-one advice on my path, because I've been on the journey of being an agency owner for 11 years. I've been in marketing since 1999. I have learned a lot. I have failed a lot. I have succeeded a lot. And right now I happen to be on an upslip of success. I'm sure some failure will come and you'll bounce around a little more like you always do. But it got me thinking that that's probably the biggest thing I could give, because I know the audience. That's one thing I did know pretty well. I knew who was in the audience because I was there last year, and I've been to a few events like this, and I had a pretty good my thumb on who was going to be there. And they are people that were 1 to 3 years in their entrepreneur experience. They're people that had an idea, have a passion, have a knowledge, but probably need a little push in one way or another. And so I made an announcement from stage. I did this the night before. I made a link that went to my master calendar. And I had a couple of automation glitches there, but at the end of the day, it made sense. And because it was done really fast. I think I did it at 2 a.m. But I had a link that I gave from stage and said, hey, here's this link. If you want a free 30-minute sit down, I've got 2 bright orange chairs. I'll put a picture in the comments. 2 bright orange chairs out in front of my booth in the hallway, because we had a sponsor booth. And I will sit down with anybody for 30 minutes and have a conversation 100% about you, what you want to talk about, no strings attached. And maybe I was naive. Maybe I was naive with regards to how many people knew me or would take me up on the offer, because I thought, okay, I'm here for 3 days. I want to see some of the speakers as well. I wanted to see a lot of these people. My goal was to sit in about 15 sessions. I got to sit in on a handful. And I got off stage, went into a private meeting with ManyChat to do a post-speech video testimonial about the event, about me. I guess kind of like a little speaker reel. And I walk out of that meeting about 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and I have 20 sessions scheduled. My speech was around 11. I had my clock opened up at like noon, I think. And I just said, hell, put it to 11 p.m. I didn't care. And I had 20 sessions scheduled back to back to back to back to back. I mean, all the way. So noon to whatever. Now, this thing also, put it away, I didn't eat breakfast. I went and spoke. I forgot about lunch. And about 8 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I think there's dinner. So that happened. I did it again Saturday. I did it again Sunday. Saturday night, I actually left the facility at around 8:45, I think. The event ended at 6, and we sat in our booth. And I'll never forget, it was kind of funny. The security guard kept coming around the corner and going, like peeking down this long hallway, and I could see him looking, thinking, what are y'all doing? Get out of here. I want to go home. And so I had these sessions, and it was eye-opening, but it also wasn't eye-opening, because most of what I've heard the last couple of years. And so I made some notes. I've got gigantic yellow notepad with hundreds of notes on it. And I'll hit a couple of things real quick that I noticed. Because there was three main areas that everybody talked about. Number one, and this blows me away, but it's true. I was the same way. I'm not anymore. Self-confidence and knowing your inner expert. The number of people I talked to at this event, and it leaned more towards the women. I was pretty equal who I met with, men and women, young and old. Probably if I had to say, the average person I spoke with was probably a 40-year-old woman. And confidence in what you know and what I call your inner expert. You see, I've known this for a few years, but I struggled with it a long time ago. Expert's a wild word to put out there. I mean, who knows what it actually means? But we have this perception that we're not good enough for what people need. And in the marketing world, I can tell you, especially the people at this conference, if you're at a conference like this, you've already taken a big step to go to the next level. And the one thing everybody had in common, they all had a lot of knowledge. They all knew Facebook ads and landing pages and optimization and websites and YouTube and Google and messenger marketing and text and email. They all knew all of that stuff. But they didn't believe in themselves how much they knew. And you've got to believe in yourself, because I can tell you, I deal with major corporations every week. I deal with small mom and pop restaurants, huge restaurant chains. I deal with large advertising agencies that could buy and sell MatPlap every day of the week. The one thing none of them have in common, or the one thing they all have in common, is they have no clue about what we do. My knowledge level is up here, theirs is way down here. And I can promise you, you as a marketer, same thing. Everybody I met with, same exact thing. Everybody that you are in front of, you have such a higher level of knowledge than you realize. And you've just got to believe in yourself. So I'd say channel your inner expert. Know that you are there. The second thing I learned, and this is eye-opening because it made me realize it a couple years ago, was that nobody knows you. The biggest problem everybody asked me was, Matt, how do you find clients? How do you become known? How do you become branded to where people know that you're the crazy guy in orange? And it came from a speech I heard at Billie Jean's conference 2 years ago. A guy named Mark Lack got up on stage and said, hey, everybody in this audience, tell me, why do you think you struggle with getting clients? And now look at this universally. It's a marketing conference. They want clients to sell marketing for. Every business wants clients to sell food or cars or insurance or whatever. But the question Mark Lack said from stage was, why do you think all of you struggle with getting clients? And everybody had all these different reasons, and they're throwing out ideas left and right. He goes, no, one, nobody knows you. If people knew you, meaning they know you, they like you, they trust you, understand deeply what you do, and understand the pain point that you can solve for them, then they'll buy from you. And that's any business. And so that was a huge thing that everybody talked about. And I commonly did this sketching here. And it's a crazy little diagram. I commonly did this. I call this my funnel, my level funnel. Is that everybody always wants to go out there and tell people to buy from them, walk in their business and buy from them. Well, nobody wants to walk in a bar. If you're a female that's 21 years old and you're at a bar looking to maybe meet your boyfriend, you don't want to have a guy walk in and tell you when you're going to have kids and get married next week. Well, that's what we do as businesses. Businesses are always selling to each other. Consumers are told they got to buy a car today. Restaurant marketers tell restaurants they got to buy the restaurant marketing today. You need to figure out they need to find out who you are. They need to know your story. There wasn't a single person I talked, well, I would say a single. The majority of people I talked to this weekend, knew more about me than I realized. They knew my story. They knew that the shoes I wore on stage that my daughter and I had just made via hydro dipping, which by the way is a video on my Facebook page, check it out. They knew a lot about me. Husband, father, love athletics. And then they also knew the restaurant side and the marketing side and the depth of knowledge, and since 1999. And so people know me. And it's been like that since 1999. I've been out and about. Since '08, I've spoke all over this area, my region. I've been to B&I events, networking events, charitable events. I've been involved with boards. People know me. So that was a big element that I found out that people just don't realize, that nobody knows them. And then the last one ties back to the people knowing you, is nobody's involved in their business community. So many of them. The things I told them was, talking about BNI, talking about chambers, talking about trade groups, local organizations, charities. I was amazed how many of them are not out and about. And so you've got to get out there. But I'm going to end with this. No matter what you're doing, and I'm going to address this from a marketing standpoint, no matter what you're doing from a marketing standpoint, it's going to change. Yes, this was a ManyChat conference. ManyChat is my jam. Love it. Amazing products, going to be changing. I wouldn't say earth-changing, marketing changing over the next few years. But at the same time, maybe it won't. Maybe it will be gone in 2 years. I told somebody the other day at the conference, I said, you know what? 10 years ago when I started my agency, most of what we do today doesn't exist. So in 10 years, that means most of what I do right now is not going to exist. What will exist are two things: pain and passion. I made a post on my page today about a message somebody sent me. It said, Matt, I can't believe you went after restaurants. I always hear restaurants don't have money to spend. And I said, no, it's not that restaurants don't have money to spend. It's that the people calling on those restaurants are either talking to the wrong person or they're talking about the wrong topic, because none of us want to spend money. I'm a cheap ass. I've got a wallet right now that's like destroyed. Stuff falling everywhere. I got to go buy a wallet. Nobody wants to spend money. Businesses, consumers. But you spend money when two things happen. Whatever the person puts in front of you attacks your passion or your pain. And so yes, restaurants spend money. Chiropractors spend money. Car dealers spend money. Every business spends money. It's a matter of if they know you, like you, and trust you, and you've identified one of those 2 points, passion or pain. You have to identify one of those and then be able to fill it with something they like. So that's what I learned. If you're watching this at the end, if you're tuned in live when this went live, rewind, go backwards, watch it again, because I'm talking about what I learned when I met with 60 plus people. Because when I got on stage, before I got on stage, I'm thinking, okay, how does Matt Plapp go on stage that Neil Patel, Randy Zuckerberg, Ezra Firestone are going to be on and make an impact? I can't drop knowledge they have. They know 100 times more than me. But I can drop knowledge from the root of what these people in the audience have as their business, their agency, their small business marketing company, their entrepreneurs. And I can give them time, because I know Randy Zuckerberg, as awesome as she was, I'm going to guess she probably didn't want to sit in a chair in a lobby for 10 hours a day for 3 days. I didn't, but I did because I actually kind of did. Number one, it gave me some great research. Number two, it gave me a lot of great relationships. More people now know Matt Plapp. But more than that, it gave me the opportunity to give back to my fellow marketers, because this is the same path I'm on that they're on. And I've been on it for a long time, and a lot of them have been on it for a few years. So if I can help them find a small shortcut over the next 6 months, a year, 2 years that maybe I didn't have 10 years ago, then I succeeded. So that's what I learned from my experience at the Conversations 2019 conference, talking to 60 plus entrepreneurs. If you were one of them, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Adios.